a friend and a man I admire greatly, Cameron Bailey, the artistic director of the Toronto International Film Festival.
Thank you, Anu. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to say thank you to Premier Kathleen Wynne, the Government of Ontario, the State of Maharashtra, Film City, and the Mumbai Academy of the Moving Image for hosting this event. It's an honor for me to be here back in Mumbai, especially to witness this signing between Mr. Sheikh and Ms. Singh, the Toronto Maharashtra Memorandum of Understanding. Thanks also to the ministers of International Trade, Michael Chan, and Economic Development, Brad Duguid, Rita Nankolyar of the Consulate General of Canada in Mumbai, Maharashtra Minister Taude, and all of you for joining us. You know, I've been lucky enough to travel from Toronto to Mumbai at least once a year, sometimes 2 or 3 times for the past 10 years, and I've found over that time that we have a lot in common. We're crazy for movies, you're crazy for movies. You have an incredibly diverse population in this city, so do we. You complain about the traffic. Thank you for coming down to South Bombay, by the way, if you're not living here. For us, it's the winters, although we've been known to also complain about the traffic in Toronto. Nothing like getting from Bandra to here, though. Toronto's home to over 70 film festivals. We may be the biggest at TIFF, but we're only one of a wildly diverse group of festivals. That passion for movies in Ontario's capital grew out of 2 things, people and investment. We're next door to the United States, but we want more than just what Hollywood can give us. We value education and innovation and the widest possible variety of perspectives. We want to see the best ideas and the best stories the world has to offer, so we go to the movies. Over the past several decades, both the public and private sectors have seen the value of that. Their investment has led to more film productions from all over the world shooting in Ontario, taking advantage of our locations and our skilled crews. In fact, you know, there are 2 films that are nominated for Academy Awards this year, Spotlight and Room, that were both shot in Toronto, in the Toronto area. Room, in fact, is a Canadian co-production. Spotlight made tremendous use of locations around Ontario. There's a Pinewood studio in Toronto, that world-famous studios that produces the James Bond movies, that shoots them, has a large operation in Toronto. IMAX is a technology born in Canada and headquartered in Mississauga, Ontario, and TIFF is lucky enough to be based there as well. We've grown from a small film festival 40 years ago to a year-round operation today based in our cinema complex, TIFF Bell Lightbox, and I hear there are plans to build something similar here in Mumbai. Fingers crossed. In addition to all the screenings, events, and education programs we present in Toronto with the Lightbox, we're also touring exhibitions like our Digi Play Space for Children, which is currently in Beijing, and our David Cronenberg exhibition, which opens later this month in Prague. India has always been important to us. For me, this country, this state, and this city are the epicenter of passion for cinema. We've been fortunate enough to welcome stars like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Amir Khan, Priyanka Chopra, Shah Rukh Khan, Sridevi, Irfan Khan, and many others to the Toronto International Film Festival. We presented impressive films by directors like Kiran Rao, whose Dobby Ghat premiered in Toronto. Go ahead and clap. Ritesh Batra, who presented The Lunchbox there, and Anurag Kashyap, who's presented a number of films at our festival. 4 years ago, we curated a special spotlight on Mumbai's new generation of independent filmmakers in Toronto. In 2011, we partnered with the International Indian Film Academy, IFA, to present the Golden Age of Indian cinema, a tribute event, and a retrospective series on Raj Kapoor. And yes, definitely applause for Raj Kapoor. And through our year-round TIFF Cinematheque program, we've also celebrated the work of master filmmaker Satyajit Ray and a number of other Indian filmmakers. Today, we're pleased to announce that we've begun an exciting relationship with the Mumbai Film Festival, MAMI, which continues to grow and evolve. In February last year, we came to Mumbai to offer a series of workshops to share our experience and insights, to discuss challenges of putting on film festivals in big cities, and to help our colleagues here continue to build upon a film festival that celebrates international cinema. In Toronto, we consider that to be a big city. I know it's nothing compared to Mumbai, but for us, it's a big city. Earlier today, we offered a filmmakers boot camp and shared the skills required to make the most of their filmmakers experience at international film festivals and markets. And later on this year, a representative from MAMI will spend time embedded at our festival with our team, again, sharing experience and ways of collaborating. One of my favorite things about all of these examples of partnership is just that exchange of ideas that comes as a result. And that's really why we're here, trading ideas, learning from each other, offering what we can, and drawing inspiration from the artists and the business people we meet here. It comes right down to the people. Anupama Chopra, Kiran Rao, Smriti Kiran, and the MAMI team are just impressive people. We want to work with them. We're glad to be deepening our relationship and glad that we're here with Ontario and Maharashtra to celebrate that. Once again, I'd like to extend my sincerest thanks to Premier Wynne, to the VIPs and dignitaries here today for making all of this possible, and to all of you for coming. Thanks very much.
Person of the Geomami Mumbai Film Festival with Star.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Maharashtra and Mumbai, Premier Wynne. So nice to have you. Good evening, Tawdi Saab, Mr. Sheikh, Valsa, my friends on the stage, Cameron and Ranveer. I'm so happy to be here to represent Geomami, a festival that was started, well, now 18 years ago. But Anupama and I sort of came on board about a year and something ago when the festival was in a fairly difficult position. And it was then when we had no real idea how we would get this festival up and running, how to run a festival. She's a film critic, I'm a filmmaker, and we didn't really have the chops to do it. We had the great fortune of having this wonderful, generous offer of support from the Toronto International Film Festival. And to be very, very honest, ladies and gentlemen, without that that 2-day little workshop that Cameron and Natalie did with us, I think we would really be way back where we started not knowing how to do anything. So this is really what Toronto is about. I mean, it really told me that this is a city that extends such warmth and generosity, and they opened themselves up to us and gave us so much of their knowledge and their expertise in running a world-class film festival now for 40 years, that it made us feel so much more reassured and felt like we could do it. So we're really very, very happy to take forward this collaboration between the Toronto International Film Festival and us. As Cameron said, we are both film-mad cities, and as he also said, I had my one and only, my first film premiered there, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. I can only say that I hope that this collaboration continues, that we can offer Toronto as much support as they have been giving us for this past year. We were very fortunate to have Cameron on our jury in our very first year helming the festival. And we recently, today, had this boot camp. And I'm sure we'll have many, many more opportunities to actually work together and make this a very fruitful partnership. Thank you.
I second everything Kiran just said. And now I'm going to call on one of India's most exciting actors, Ranveer Singh. Ranveer was in Toronto for the IFA Awards in 2011. He's going to tell us about the Canadian film industry and the possibilities for cooperation.
Really, Anuji, I'm supposed to talk about all of that intelligent stuff? Oops. Good evening to all the esteemed guests here tonight. I'm only here to up the eye candy quotient of the event. I really have nothing to contribute. Then I said, why are you calling me at an event like this? They said, come, just you can be eye candy. Then I came here, I saw Cameron, I was like, yaar, mera kya kaam hai yahan pe? Guys, yaar, make me talk intelligent. You're gonna expose me. But to be honest, yes, Toronto was a most memorable experience. My first IFA, one of my first debut awards, and one of my first live performances in front of so many people. I think there were about 50,000 people there that night, and it was an overwhelming experience to see the kind of love that the diaspora has for our films. There's just an outpouring, and it can be very, very overwhelming. And I'm very, very proud member of the Hindi film fraternity, and I would love, for one of my films to open at TIFF. I'm working on it. So a lot of big films shoot in Toronto, you know, like Triple X, right? Yeah. So clearly, like everybody said, we're all lovers of film, and I'm really happy that this association is happening, fostering positive growth for both and everybody all around. Toronto, is like you were saying, there's so many Indian people in Toronto, and Hindi films are their one big cultural connect, So this is pretty amazing. And lastly, I'd like to conclude by congratulating Anuji and Kiranji on the most amazing work that they've been doing for Mami. A round of applause, guys. Ladies, you killed it. You absolutely killed it. And thank you, Mr. Bailey, for the expertise that you provided so kindly, so generously. I'm very, very proud, Mumbaikar, sir. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra. Very, very proud Mumbai boy. And I always believe in what you believe in what you believe in, is that a city like this, with the heart and the home of the most prolific film industry in the world, should have a rich film festival. And we're working on it. And we're growing leaps and bounds and at an unprecedented rate. So 2 thumbs up and a round of applause for everybody here tonight.
That's what you call a star speech, I say. Thank you, Ranveer. And now, Premier Win, can I call on you to wrap up the evening?
I don't know how I ended up having to follow Ranveer. That's just wrong. I know you're all sitting there saying, oh, we feel really sorry for her. She has to talk after him. He's wonderful. Isn't he wonderful? Yes. So good evening, everyone, and to all of the dignitaries here and in the audience and over here, thank you all so much. And I know everyone has different roles and different positions, but what I love about movies is they're a great leveler. We're all 16 years old, and we're really excited to go to the movies. That's what this room is full of, a bunch of 16-year-olds who love going to the movies. So I'm just thrilled to be here. I think this is a great partnership. And I know that when I go back to Ontario, some media brain will ask me, well, what were you doing? You were in that shalwar, and you were with the movie stars, and what's that got to do with an economic trade mission? And I'm going to be very clear about this. This is part of our economic potential. It's part of our economic potential because of the Indian diaspora in Canada, but it's part of our economic potential because film and art speak to our soul, and without that, I don't know what we have as human beings. So it's extremely important to me that we acknowledge that art and the economy are not separate and apart. They are one and the same. They are integrated, and it's our responsibility to make sure that art flourishes. So thank you, Minister. Thank you, Zeb. Thank you, Valsa. Thank you so much, Kieran. And thank you, Cameron, for making the trip. And Ranveer, thank you so much for being who you are. So I want to issue a very special welcome to all of the representatives from India's film industry joining us this evening. And I think with so much talent on hand, I'd be asked to serve as an old extra, but I'll settle for a supporting role, Vanbeet. That's all I need. But really, that's what our government wants to do. Our government wants to play a supporting role. I believe that government can facilitate. Government absolutely cannot do what all of you do, but we can put in place a framework that allow all of you to thrive. Our province is the #1 centre for film and TV production in Canada and the 3rd largest film production location in North America. That's a pretty impressive statistic given the size of our population relative to the size of our geography. I think we punch above our weight, and it's one of the sectors that we really have invested in. And we've got decades of experience, we've got high quality infrastructure and reliable tax credits, and I'll tell you, the film industry has been very clear with me that keeping that regime of tax credits in place is critical to the success of the industry, so we are very aware of that. Ontario remains the most competitive place in Canada for foreign film, TV production, computer animation, and special effects. And these are the advantages that make Ontario an ideal location for expanding the overseas production of Indian films. And, you know, Ranveep also already talked about the diaspora. The big reason that Bollywood films, Indian films, have taken off in Ontario is because there's 700,000 Indo-Canadians in Ontario. That's a big audience. That fills a lot of movie theaters, so it's a great success. But of course, the enthusiasm goes way beyond the diaspora. Once people discover Bollywood, they're excited by it. We were the first place in North America to host the International Indian Film Academy Weekend and Awards. IFA was so exciting. I was there. It was an unbelievable crowd and an unbelievable buzz. It was just fantastic. The Ontario Media Development Corporation has led delegations to the Film Bazaar at the International Film Festival of India in Goa. And in 2014, the Government of Canada signed an audiovisual co-production agreement with India. Clearly, the time is right for Ontario to partner with Indian filmmakers to bring their unique perspectives to the international market. So I want to congratulate the City of Toronto, and I know that Mayor Tory is right there with you, and TIFF, along with MAMI, fantastic, and the Cultural Development Corporation and the Mumbai Academy of the Moving Image and MAMI on the agreements that they've signed today. These memoranda of understanding are very important because what they do is they begin to formalize a relationship, and they provide a framework within which things like the workshops and the boot camps and the sharing of knowledge can happen. So that's why I'm thrilled that we're taking that step today. And these outstanding organizations will advance their common interests because what we know is if your industry thrives, our industry thrives, and we can be mutually supportive. So thank you very much. Film's a universal medium, and it transcends language, it transcends culture and borders and age, and it brings us together. So as the Premier of Ontario, I'm proud of how our government has helped artists. We want to keep doing that. The actors, the writers, the directors who contribute to creative visual arts, you're a very, very important part of our economy, of our culture. Thank you very much, and I look forward to all the new and exciting projects that we're going to see come out of this relationship. Thank you very much.